Actually, it's a variation of just andante.
I actually realised it's really slow.
Well, not necessarily really slow, but at a walking pace. And it's funny, I think some composers use this to mean a little bit faster than andante, and occasionally a composer would use it to mean a little bit slower than andante. So it's a little bit of a breakdown, but I think if we think of walking with it, then we can play around with it. I would say you were playing it more like a run again. But I'm just going to get my metronome out, and the one thing to know, Caruli didn't write this metronome marking, but there is one here, which is just out of curiosity. See, this is 56. And that's the dotted quarter. Sorry, so we need to be thinking of da da dee da da dee da 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 da. Great. So that's what the editor of this book has suggested for the tempo. You can say I want to play it faster than that.
My teacher told me to play it like that fast.
The fast we just played it, or how fast you played it before? That fast?
Brendan does walk pretty fast, so.
Oh, you're a super Brendan? Nice, yes, I have seen him almost run for buses all the time. But yeah, I would say it could be if you want. If you want to play that fast, that's totally fine. But maybe just a touch more relaxed. This chord is quite unusual, isn't it? Great. So, you're taking a lot of time over the second half of the measure. We do want to take some time, because a chord like this is kind of, it's drawing our attention to it. It's something that, we're not necessarily expecting it to happen. So, I'm just trying to listen. So I suggest doing exactly what we just did then. You can take some time and then pretty much back in tempo once we hit that chord. Does that make sense? Why don't you try it yourself alone from here? Great, and keep going. Actually, one more time from here, and keep going. Great. So here we have this kind of little melody, right? But does the C sharp kind of strike you as it coming out of nowhere? Are there any other C sharps in the rest of this piece?
No.
No. So what's it? In music, often we're playing with this idea of tension and relaxation, or dissonance and resolution. And here, if we're playing something around here, we're not really expecting that note to come out of nowhere. So we can just give it a little bit of an emphasis, and then it can resolve. Yes. Great. And the same thing here. We're not really expecting that D sharp. Great. Perfect. Excellent. So one more time for actually do. question, how do we get to that roll chord? Can you even try playing it right on the Perfect. Yeah, so if we play, you're playing this with P and I? Okay, yeah, so in the right hand, the thumb is pretty much ready to do that chord. And in the left hand, in the left hand all we need to do is move that second finger from the fourth string to the first string. Right, and you might even find that if you let your elbow help here. Yeah, so when we play a chord like this, actually playing with that E in the bass and the G sharp, just see if you can let your elbow be as relaxed as you can. That's great. Does that feel comfortable? Great. But then, to play a chord like this, we do need to bring the elbow out of it. Yes. So what we're doing is pretty much just rotating the forearm by bringing the elbow out. And if we can do that very quickly. Yes, very nice. Perfect. Put it now into context. Excellent. Fantastic. The only other thing I want to chat about is that fourth finger. Where sometimes you're letting it collapse in the tip joint. Yeah. And so here's an exercise for you. Have you ever done this? It's not the most interesting exercise, but it's just called left hand walking. And you can do it at any fret you like. Excellent. And one thing I want you to try doing is just then you kept your thumb in the same place, and that meant that when you got to the first string you had to change how your left hand is orientated towards the guitar. I want you to instead keep the palm of the hand the same relationship to the neck of the guitar, but just going to move out a little bit. Does that make sense? Great, and always see if you can keep the finger nicely on its tip, so when you push the string down you might get a line right in that tip of the finger. Excellent, that's great, and come back down as well. Very nice. Let's try now the second finger, one fret higher.
5 minutes or
Excellent. Try that just one more time, and I want you to think of two things. The thumb, just being super relaxed on the back of the neck, and also just letting there be some space between the fingers. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the other fingers are kind of coming and joining the party. I want you to just let them, yeah, that's it. In a very just relaxed way. That's good. Perfect. And then, third finger. And this one you might want to take just a little bit slower, but exactly the same, and see if you can just keep it really well on this tip. Great. So I think that's a really useful exercise to just warm up with every day. It'll take you about a minute to do. But just making sure that the finger is really landing well on its tip and nice and close to the frets. And then if you're playing a piece like this, and you suddenly become aware that you are collapsing the tip joint, just see if you can... Perfect. Excellent. And also there, you're on that D. Yeah, just play that one more time slowly. Great. That was good, and because you'll find that if ever you do let the tip joint collapse, it just dissipates some of the energy. The way to play with the most amount of energy and least effort is keeping the finger always nicely curved and landing on its tip. That's good. Yes, great. And so, really jumping up and landing nicely on the fourth finger. Yeah, try just that passage one last time. Perfect. Great. Would you have any questions about this? No, great. This is a nice piece. It's really good for you. We better leave it there. But thank you for playing for me. That was great.